We've been conditioned to believe that if you're not visible online, you must be hiding something, that silence equals insecurity, that a blank profile is a red flag. But what if the opposite is true? What if the quietest people in the digital world are actually the most powerful? Today, we're not judging the book by its missing cover. We're reading the pages inside the minds of those who refuse to perform for the public square. Let's start with the first misconception. They're not looking for a hit of dopamine from a notification. Psychologists call the driver of their actions intrinsic motivation. This means their reward system is wired internally. The satisfaction comes from the act itself. Finishing a project, mastering a skill, having a real conversation, not from the external applause of a like button. They haven't dropped off the grid, they've dropped out of the rat race for attention. And that isn't the lack of confidence, that's a surplus of self-worth. Consider this. In an economy where every scroll is a transaction and your attention is the currency, refusing to cash in is a radical act of power. It requires a deep, unshakable belief in your own existence. These individuals possess what's known in psychology as high self-concept clarity. They have a firm, stable understanding of who they are, and it doesn't fluctuate with the tide of online feedback. They aren't afraid of being invisible. They're afraid of being seen for someone they're not. Think about the biology of posting. Every time you upload a photo and watch the likes roll in, your brain gets a squirt of dopamine, the same chemical released when you gamble or eat sugar. It's a loop. Post, check, validate, repeat. But the quiet ones have broken the circuit. They've recognized the addiction for what it is and have chosen a different high, long-term peace over short-term popularity. They don't trade their tranquility for transient applause. This brings us to a crucial distinction. Privacy isn't the same as paranoia. There's a world of difference between hiding and being selective. In psychology, we call this selective self-presentation. It's the conscious choice to curate who gets access to you, not out of fear, but out of respect for the sacredness of your own experience. When they don't share, it's not because they're ashamed, it's because they understand that intimacy is diluted by publicity. Their silence isn't self-doubt, it's a gate. Have you ever walked into a room and felt like everyone was staring, judging your every move? That's the spotlight effect, our innate tendency to overestimate how much others notice us. People who post less have usually woken up from this illusion. They realize that, for the most part, everyone else is too busy worrying about their own spotlight to be focused on yours. This realization brings a profound sense of liberation. They don't need to be the center of attention to feel significant. It's not that they're afraid of being authentic, it's that they're terrified of being reduced. A photo can be judged in a split second. A caption can be twisted. A life can be flattened into a highlight reel. By staying private, they protect the three-dimensional truth of their lives from the two-dimensional screen. They're not concealing flaws, they're safeguarding their story from being written by strangers. Emotionally, they operate on a different frequency. Psychology points to a trait called emotional regulation, the ability to manage and process feelings internally rather than externally venting them. They don't need to post every frustration, every joy, every fleeting thought, because they have the internal tools to metabolize those emotions themselves. This is a hallmark of maturity and high emotional intelligence. They don't need to prove they're happy. They make their peace from the inside out. We often confuse privacy with loneliness, but they are polar opposites. Privacy is a choice, a boundary. Loneliness is a feeling of disconnection, even in a crowded room. The quiet ones choose the former. They'd rather have a small, trusted circle who knows their soul than a massive audience that only knows their surface. For them, privacy isn't a wall to keep people out. It's a sanctuary to let the right ones in. Many of them are natural-born observers. They watch, they listen, they analyze patterns in people and behavior. Psychologists call this observational intelligence. They learn by absorbing the world rather than broadcasting themselves into it. They are the thinkers, the analyzers, the ones who process deeply before they ever speak. And that's precisely why, when they do choose to share something, it carries weight. Let's shatter the biggest myth right now. Their self-esteem isn't fragile, it's forged. A fragile ego is a hungry ghost, constantly needing external affirmation to feel real. It needs to be fed with likes, comments, and shares. But a secure ego is self-sustaining. It doesn't need to constantly check its reflection in the digital mirror because it already knows what it looks like. True confidence doesn't perform, it just is. True confidence doesn't compete for attention, it commands it by simply existing. They've also cracked a code that many of us miss: the value of a moment not documented. When you're truly present, your instinct isn't to reach for your phone. When they laugh with friends, the phone stays in the pocket. When they travel, their eyes are on the horizon, not the screen. They understand that some memories are too precious to be pixelated. The experience itself is the proof, not the photo. Every piece of content you share is a fragment of your identity, traded for a sliver of attention. And that transaction has a hidden cost: comparison, judgment, the pressure of expectation. People who limit their exposure understand this ledger intimately. They'd rather be underestimated by the masses than overexposed to them. Because when you protect your mystery, you protect your peace. And note, this has nothing to do with appearance. We need to kill that idea right now. It's not about thinking they're not good-looking enough for the gram. Cytology shows that high self-acceptance means you don't feel the need to market your physical self. You've made peace with your imperfections. They're part of the whole. The drive to chase aesthetic validation fades when your self-worth is built on something deeper than skin. They're not insecure. They've simply become immune to the disease of needing to be seen as perfect. There's a quiet power in being an enigma. When your life isn't an open book online, you become a source of genuine curiosity. People wonder, they ask. You become unpredictable, grounded, and psychologically influential. This isn't the loud digital influence of a follower count. This is the deep, primal influence of someone who doesn't need your attention to feel powerful. Most people give the keys to their emotional state to the algorithm. They feel in control when the numbers go up and powerless when they go down. But the quiet ones operate with a strong internal locus of control. They believe their happiness and success are generated from within, by their own actions and choices, not by the unpredictable reactions of strangers. They use the internet as a tool for information and connection, not as a scoreboard for their self-esteem. This requires a rare skill, meta-awareness. This is the ability to step outside of yourself and watch your own thoughts and behaviors from a distance. People who stay quiet have this in spades. They can see the matrix of social media for what it is, a constructed reality, a game of illusions. They see how easily people get trapped in performing a flawless version of themselves. And because they see the game, they refuse to play. They choose to build their identity in the real world, not the digital one. So the next time someone questions your quietness, remember this: silence isn't a void, it's a container. It holds your power, your peace, and your truth. You don't need a filter to validate your face or a follower count to validate your existence, because the ultimate confidence isn't about how loud you are in the crowd. It's about how calm you are when the crowd is gone. If you're the kind of person who values depth over display and you're ready to understand more about the human mind, you're in the right place. Hit that like button to join the thinkers, not just the scrollers, and subscribe to Quiet Strength for more. We don't just observe behavior, we dissect it.